Princess Leonor and Princess Ingrid Alexandra, $1 billion royal wedding compilation. The world has always expected grandeur from royalty. Elegance, tradition, beauty carefully choreographed for the cameras. But no one expected this. A wedding so extravagant, so breathtaking, that it carries a price tag of $1 billion. A wedding not of one princess, but of two. Princess Leonor of Spain. Princess Ingrid Alexandra of Norway. Together, rewriting history. Yes, the palace doors have opened, and what was once a dream whispered among fans of royalty is now real. But beneath the gowns, the glittering jewels, and the billion-dollar figures, lies a story far deeper. This is not just a celebration. This is not just a compilation of love and tradition. This is the moment Europe's future queens stand side by side, not as rivals, but as women of destiny, carrying the weight of two nations into a single chapter of history. So how did we arrive here? How did two of Europe's most talked about heirs to the throne become part of the same royal wedding narrative? To understand, we must go back to the childhoods of Leonor and Ingrid, to the quiet years when they were sheltered from the glare of constant cameras, to the moments where friendship grew between two young girls, both born into palaces, both bound by futures larger than themselves. From the start, Leonor and Ingrid carried an unspoken bond. Each raised with discipline, each molded for duty. And yet, within them, the same yearning, for freedom, for choice, for love. Their weddings would never be just about themselves. They would be symbols. And so, when talk of their grand celebrations began, the world leaned in, hungry for every detail. Now imagine it. A billion-dollar compilation of royal traditions. Castles lit with thousands of candles. Cathedrals draped in tapestries older than the nations themselves. The world's greatest designers stitching gowns destined to become legend. The press calling it the wedding event of the century. But behind the glamour is the truth. No price tag can measure the emotions at stake. The love, the tension, the family dynamics that no camera can fully capture. For Princess Leonor, Spain's first queen to be in generations, her wedding represents not just love, but survival of her monarchy. Every step she takes toward the altar is a step into the future of Spain itself. For Ingrid Alexandra, the symbolism is equally powerful. Norway's modern, forward-looking monarchy finds itself on the global stage, watching their young princess embrace her destiny with confidence and grace. And yet, as the billion-dollar figure echoes in headlines, questions emerge. Who pays? Who profits? Is it the people who celebrate with pride, or the critics who see this as monarchy at its most indulgent? Spain has faced economic trials. Norway too has endured debates about royalty's place in modern society. For some, these weddings represent joy, unity, continuity. For others, they highlight the distance between palace life and ordinary struggle. But the story cannot be told only through controversy. For behind the criticism lies a truth no one can deny. These young women are stepping into their roles not with arrogance, but with quiet courage. Leonor, who trained at military academy, who already speaks with the authority of a leader beyond her years. Ingrid, who has carried herself with composure, showing Norway and the world that strength can come wrapped in humility. Their weddings, grand as they may be, are not vanity projects. They are stages set for the next era of European royalty. And so, the compilation begins. Gowns that shimmer like liquid diamonds. Royal guests arriving from every corner of Europe, King Felipe and Queen Letizia beaming with pride, Crown Prince Haakon and Crown Princess Mette-Marit holding back tears as they watch their daughter step into womanhood. Britain represented, Denmark watching closely, the Netherlands, Belgium, all monarchies uniting in one unprecedented moment. But no royal wedding is free of tension. Behind palace walls, decisions spark disagreements. Who sits in the front rows? Which traditions are honored? Which are quietly set aside? For Leonor, whose mother Letizia has often clashed with palace customs, the wedding becomes a tightrope walk between modernity and tradition. For Ingrid, the challenge is different: how to bring Norway's understated, grounded values into an event so globally extravagant. These questions deepen the intrigue, pulling the world in closer. And every answer opens another question. What crown jewels will Leonor wear? Will Ingrid walk with Norway's historic tiaras, passed down for centuries? Will they choose designers from their own countries, or turn to global icons who understand the weight of such symbolism? One by one, these mysteries unfold, each moment adding to the billion-dollar spectacle. The processional music, ancient hymns echoing against cathedral walls. The vows, spoken in voices young, yet heavy with destiny. The embrace that seals not only their marriages, but their futures as leaders. Cameras capture every second, but what cannot be captured is the silence afterward, the realization that history has just been written. And so, the compilation builds. Every frame a treasure. Every moment etched in memory. The carriages. The streets filled with flags and cheers. The balcony appearances that echo the fairy tales of past royal weddings. But this is not the past. This is not Diana's fairy tale. This is not Mary of Denmark's elegance or Kate Middleton's timeless grace. This is Leonor and Ingrid, two queens in the making, carving their own story into Europe's royal fabric. As the billion-dollar figure continues to dominate headlines, the real cost emerges. Not the jewels, not the gowns, but the sacrifice, the surrender of privacy, the life lived forever under watchful eyes. That is the price these princesses pay. And it is a price no one outside the palace walls can truly understand. Yet even in this sacrifice, there is love. Genuine, tender, unwavering love. Between bride and groom. Between parents and daughters. Between nations and their future queens. That is what the cameras miss. That is what the headlines cannot buy. And so, as the world watches, as billions are spent, as debates rage, something unshakable remains. A bond of love and duty that no critic can diminish. A future built not only on tradition, but on the shoulders of two young women willing to embrace it all, the splendor, the scrutiny, the sacrifice. This is more than a royal wedding compilation. It is the story of resilience. The story of monarchy in the modern age. The story of Leonor and Ingrid stepping into their destinies, with the eyes of the world upon them. And when the last candle burns low, when the final guest departs, when the gowns are carefully preserved and the crowns placed back in velvet cases, one truth will remain. The $1 billion may be counted, the headlines may fade, but the impact of these weddings, this moment in time, will echo for generations. For in the end, history will not remember the price tag. History will remember the women. The leaders. The queens they became. And that is why this story matters. That is why this wedding, this $1 billion compilation, is more than an event. It is the dawn of a new chapter for royalty, for Europe, for the world.